Paul Pogba has been speaking for the first time since his 4-year doping ban was reduced to 18 months. The World Cup winners sat down with our Julien Laurens to talk about this and more.
Tell me what the man said right now. How do you feel physically, mentally after everything that happened?
And I feel great, to be honest. I feel good. So determined to come back and train and just touch the ball, man. Touch the ball.
Because you didn't think you did anything wrong. So when it all happened, which is like head exploding, was like, what is this? What's going on here?
Yeah, for me, I start thinking, oh, maybe I ate something, or maybe I put the cream. What did I do? So I start doing the movie back to see if I've done something different, which I didn't. And then after, when I find out what it was, I was like, why? What happened? This is normal. Like, I've been doing this for so long. Yeah. Why that happened now, you know? But at the end of the day, obviously, I took responsibility for not double checking, let's say it like this. And with some professional, because he was professional, it's not me by myself, you know? So I will take responsibility on that. But then the rest, obviously, is not me, it's expert.
Yeah, yeah.
And it happened, and the 4 years was obviously insane.
Did you think at some point that you might not play again because 4 years is so long?
Many thoughts in my head.
So many thoughts. To even stop playing?
I'm like, what am I going to do if it's 4 years? 4 years, you start making the math in your head. What am I going to do? 4 years, not playing, training. Which club going to want me?
Yeah.
You know? Would I be fit? And stuff like, you know, like you make a lot of pictures in your head. But in the other side, I had faith, obviously, and I was positive because I knew I didn't do anything wrong on purpose. So then, thanks that happened, you know, they reduced it.
So now, what's happening now?
Right now I'm with Juventus, so we don't know really
what's
going on. No. We haven't, you know, like all the parties are talking, lawyers and etc. So I want to know, what will happen next, you know. But my main focus right now is just to get myself ready. I keep training and everything, get ready for being able to join the team in January. For sure, it's going to be a new Pogba. That's definitely for sure, and in the positive way. Like I said, with more hunger, with more determination. I feel like a kid that just wants to be professional again, that never signed professional.
Yeah.
So this is the anger I have. That's what drives me, and I will do everything to come back at the level I was before, and even better. Why not?
If Juve were decided that you two go your different ways, what would you like? Would you like to come back to France, for example? Would you like to come back to England? Is MLS or Saudi Arabia options? Is there all the options on Paul Pogba's table, or you still want a Champions League club, for example?
No, to be honest, right now is not my focus. My focus is to train, get back fit on the pitch and play. Like I said, I'm with Juventus.
Yeah.
This is today, can't do with the if today, this is the reality. And I have just to think about that and think about getting fit.
I saw Tonton Pat the other day, who would love you to go to Marseille. I would love you to come here to Paris, it's our city, you know. It would be good to come to Ligue 1, no? To come to France one day.
You see, you're tricky. You twist you tricky.
I just had to say that I would love you to play for PSG.
I told you.
That's all I'm saying.
I had a setback. I see you has life. You know, I see this coming.
You're too wise for me now.
You can't treat me anymore. You can't treat
Okay,
me
what about
anymore.
the national team then? If we get Paul Pogba to his best, you would want to wear that shirt again, right? One day.
Of course. You know, want to play football, you want to come back how it was before I was in national team. Definitely. But there is something that we need to know, and we need to respect these players also, that they are here, and you have to respect that. And the way I respect that is for me training hard to deserve my place.
Yeah. And that's why you said it's a new Pogba that we're going to see again.
Definitely a new Pogba.
Perfect. Just my guy.
Tricky boy.
Just my GT.
Tricky boy. Tricky boy.
Tricky Jules joining us now, working as a double agent, trying to do some business for PSG. Can't believe you, Jules. Well done on the interview. What stood out for you, though, from speaking to him in that interview?
Well, we hadn't seen each other for a while since before the suspension, obviously. So it was good to see him again and to see him happy. That was the most important. Smiling again. I think it was a massive relief to get the suspension reduced, obviously, because, like he said in the interview, I think if he had stayed at 4 years, if he had stayed the 4-year ban, I think he knew deep inside and mentally as well that it was over, that he would never play football again. And I think he got really scared that it would be the case. So for him to come back already and to now think about training again with the team and playing competitive matches is massive. I think he said that for a time he didn't feel like a footballer anymore. And even today, to give an interview and to talk about football again, to talk about the hope and in the near future now, he can almost touch it, to be able to play again was massive for him. He said before the interview that when they still lived in Turin with the family and he takes the children to school, they drive past the J Arena, they drive past the stadium, and his boys are saying, like, when are we going to see you there again? And we want to see you play in this stadium. And he said this. Heartbroken when they tell him that. So just for him to be a player again is massive. I don't know really. I don't think he knows, for all the motivation he has and all the willingness and all the desire. Nobody says how high he can go again, what could be his best level again. Can he be the Pogba of 2018, for example, again? I'm not sure. He hasn't played for so long now. He would not have played, when it comes to March, almost for 2 years. It's a long, long time to get back to full fitness and match fitness, etc. But I really wish him the best, because he had a lot of things to say, I think, and he went through some really, really difficult times.
That's the question, isn't it, Shaka? Because as Jules was just saying, like, how high can he go now after this? Because it's one thing when you have an 18-month injury, let's say, but you're still in and around the training ground every day. You're doing light work with your team. You're in it. This is a completely different situation to then go back to life as a footballer.
Absolutely it is. And it's a really tough ask for Paul Pogba to rediscover those heights. And I'll say this, full disclosure, I love Paul Pogba. Not as much as Jules, quite clearly, but I love Paul Pogba and absolutely wish him the best. And in all honesty, while the discussion will be how good can he be again, I think that's the last thing on Paul Pogba's mind. I think all he's thinking about is getting back out there and playing this game that we all love and served us so well. And whatever comes of that is a bonus. Whatever comes of given the mental turmoil that he had to have been going through all this time, thinking that the game has been snatched away from him, and not in a way that sometimes you can come to, well, maybe I'm generalizing because it didn't happen to me, because I wanted to say sometimes if the game is taken away from you because of an injury, that is kind of part of the game, and as a footballer, you know that there's always that risk. But when we're talking about the circumstance that he has been facing, and I believe when he says it was done unknowingly, whatever it was, and that is snatched away from you in that manner, that's even more difficult to try to understand, to try to come to terms with. And now it really is kind of a second life for him here. And whatever he makes of it, I'm sure he'll enjoy every minute, regardless of whether he's able to win titles or pull on the blue of France again. That would be great, but that's not what he's thinking about.
I haven't seen such lack of professionalism by one of our guys doing an interview since you did an interview with Mourinho.
That's the bar,
It's a pretty low bar. There's a pretty high bar in this single.
Were you not rubbing your belly when Mourinho was talking to you? Huh?
Well, just carry on.
I'm just saying. We're just asking our guys to be professional. As compared to you, then Jules, I suppose, was more professional.
Let me go to a professional. Can you imagine having to do that, though, what Paul Pogba's doing, to come back to professional football like that after that time out?
No, and for what Shaq is saying, listen, at the end of the day, he's responsible for what he ingests. Whether he meant to or not, you're responsible for what you consume and goes into your body. But to have it be taken away like that, and to know the heights that he's reached and to think that you may never play again. That's a difficult pill to swallow. And certainly at some point in time throughout that process, you think about giving up and you're not going to training every day. You're not doing the proper things you would normally do. And there may have been some questions about his professionalism to begin with already while he was still an active player. That could be difficult. But they didn't have that new lease on life. And this is where I think Shaq is right. He's just trying to get back into the swing of things, back into playing, back into the joy. But certainly when you're a player that's reached the heights that Paul Pogba has reached, I don't think he's going to be content with just coming back. And he's 31 years of age. And I'm not saying he's going to have the redemption arc where you see him back at the heights that he once had, but certainly that's what he's going to strive for.
It's interesting though, Jules, because obviously you had a little bit of a joke with him there and you were being tricky, Jules, with him. You mentioned Marseille, you mentioned PSG, of course. Has there been any talk as to where it might be if it isn't Juventus? Even if it's not with him?
So right now he says that, yeah, they haven't, he doesn't know what Juventus want to do with him, really. We know, because we've heard from Italy and from Juve, that it's very likely they would terminate his contract because they built a squad with Thiago Motta as a coach that didn't really include him because the ban was 4 years. So they're not going to change now. So if that happens, then I think really every option is on the table because like the boy said, right now he's just focusing on playing again. Yes, personally, I think he would want to stay in Europe in one of the big 5 leagues to stay at that level right now because if he wants also to come back with France, he knows that he has to play as close as France as possible, maybe even back home to come back to Ligue 1. As much as I would love him in Paris or PSG, simply because obviously this is his city as well. It would be amazing to see him there. But I think he will have offers. I think he would be able to choose. Projects might be different. Some might have European competitions, others not. So there will be a lot of things that I think he will take in consideration. But I think he will have offers. Then it will be down to him. But he's super motivated, and he said that because he felt that he was going to stop and that he might never play again, I think he will take everything now with a different mentality to maybe before, which is not a good thing to say because that meant that maybe he didn't appreciate things when he had them before and he was one of the best players in the world at some point. But now I think he really wants to enjoy the next few years because they're the last years and because he was so close of losing everything and stopping football. So I would take a punt on him if I was a sporting director somewhere, a coach somewhere, even at a big club. But it will depend. But I think he would consider everything: MLS, Saudi, Europe, everything really to enjoy playing again.
Nice stuff, Jules. Anyway, you can hear more from Jules on the latest.
He can't help himself.
He
was talking about PSG. He was smirking.
Oh, he was ready to sign him right there.
He wanted it to be his first question, but he saved it till a little later.